Are we ready? I call to order the meeting of October 27th, 2025 of the Monteagle Town Council meeting. It's 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Dan, would you lead us in prayer?
Sure. Let's pray. Our Father, again this afternoon, we thank you for the privilege of conducting the business of the city of Monteagle. We thank you for the dear ones that protect us in the police force and those that look after us in the EMS and the first responders and the different ones that are watching through the night hours, continuing. We just ask that you give us wisdom today as we conduct the business of the city of Monteagle. We thank you indeed for the place that we have here to live, and we're grateful to you for the land that we live in today. And we just ask that you give us wisdom as we go through the agenda tonight and look at the different aspects of the things that we're having to look into. And we just commit all things to you, realizing that we all will ultimately answer to you. And so we just thank you indeed. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Grant?
Here.
Dan?
Here.
Nate?
Here.
Mayor?
Here.
Here.
You've received the minutes in your packet. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
Make a motion we accept the minutes from the previous meeting of September.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Can you just clarify, how did you do that, Deb? Did you,
Say aye.
so did you record the whole thing and had it transcribed?
Well, I took the recording of her off of Facebook and transcribed it.
Okay, so our minutes were 69 pages long because it was exactly, it was everything that was said this time.
Good.
So I'm just curious, could we just use the recording as minutes? Okay, we could.
But it should be a hard copy too.
Oh, because I think they're fine together, but I think it didn't always figure out who was talking. That's what we were.
Well, we can introduce that then when people speak. As someone that makes a motion, we'll identify who makes the motion in second.
Well, I mean, I think we could just add the
Other
recording
comments?
to our official minutes, and that would, is that doable?
Yeah, we did a thumbs up and I'll keep those.
Okay, all right.
But we're not doing away with written copies.
No.
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 But I think we just avoid any confusion of who's saying what if we have the written copy as part of the official.
I'm gonna bring up a couple things here, and I don't know if Grant was talking about it, or you, or who.
Are there any other additions or corrections to the minutes as submitted? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Citizens wish to be heard at this time? Anyone want to talk about citizens' comments? Okay. For me, I don't have too much to talk about. The poker run, I understand that the Mountain Goat Trail and that project went very well for the first year, so that was something that we can continue to work on. Halloween, the Monteagle Elementary School had their Halloween celebration. I believe the fire department is having one on Halloween Day at the firehouse. Veterans Day, I remind you, is November 11th. And of course, Thanksgiving is coming up in November. The November meeting will be the Monday before, which would be the 24th, I believe. 24th. And the Planning Commission meeting in November will be November 4th. So that takes care of calendar events and communications. Let's go to reports. Police Department first.
Good afternoon, council, citizens. I just got a few things this afternoon. We'll go over the Monteagle report from September 15th to October 15th, 2025. We had one driving on revoked suspended, one DUI. We had 3 juvenile calls, 1 domestic call, 2 drug-related incidences, 1 theft, total of 5 arrests for the month. Calls of service for the month was 333, which was down from 352 from the previous month. Total crashes were the exact same as it was last month. There was a total of 10, and we had 47 traffic stops. So that's going to be the report there. All right, police news. I think everyone has a copy of this. The Monteagle Police Department purchased 4 radars. We had discussed this in the past. We got that THSO grant. The grant was for a total of $20,000, 10 of which we were able to purchase, 10,000 we were able to purchase equipment. So we got 4 radars, or will be purchasing 4 radars for a total of 97, 96, 68. And, well, actually, I'm sorry, that's going to be, yeah. So we need an additional 3 radars to make up a total of 7. So every patrol unit has those. That's going to be $7,347.51. So something to look at down the road. If we want all the units to have working radars, then we would have to purchase down the road or put in for next year 3 additional radars. These radars here, everyone here is currently radar certified, and those are in their files as well. The other $10,000 is for the THSO grant. That's the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. It's going to be for traffic control. Basically, we would be stopping vehicles for any vehicle lights out, speeding, possible DUIs, things of that nature. That will be paid out of that grant. So what happens is we pay for it, and then they send a check for it to be reimbursed. That's how that works.
Is that straight time or overtime?
That's overtime. So that'll be overtime there. So so if in the future, if you see multiple vehicles out, that's going to be what those are for, is for traffic enforcement. Hopefully slow down drivers on Summerfield Road, at Laurel Lake, and areas like that, and Trussell Road, and things of that nature there. So that's what that's there for. And then, of course, I think you guys may have a copy of the company that we actually got the radars from. It is a state contract, and then it just has a breakdown of what those are. The last thing I want to go over, I passed out, well, these right here, there's a stack of them on the desk when you come in. Once again, I will bring up mental health, obviously. If you know anyone who is suffering from mental health or has reached out to you and you feel like they need to talk to someone, suicide hotline, it's so easy. It's 988. It's all they got to dial, 988. They can text it or they can, call it. The reason I say that is because yesterday we had a non-resident come to Monteagle and unfortunately took his life. We were able to find the individual. Unfortunately, one of the officers hurt himself. He's fine, breaking the window out. But it's sad that someone has to take their life and not know that they can actually call and talk to someone. So, I just want to, the family is aware, and they have, him and things of that nature. But once again, this brochure is sitting out front. It's so easy. 988 is the number that they dial. So it's just, I think we need to really spread the message. We are having way too many people coming to the mountain, and it's a beautiful place. I get it, but we don't want people coming to the mountain that want to take their lives. So let's see what we can do to hopefully stop that.
Any questions of the chief on his report? No?
Start down there? You're supposed to start
Anyway,
down there.
no, I looked down there, you weren't there, so I looked over there. Go ahead.
You were talking about this saturation thing, and why does it have to be overtime? But we have two officers on duty.
So those officers will be here for Monteagle calls. The other officers that come in, it'll be 2 of them, and they will be the ones doing the saturation. So we're going to have officers available for calls, so we're not taking away. Because I don't need, let's say I've got an officer that pulls someone over and they've got a warrant and there's dope in the vehicle. So now I've got 2 officers tied up on it and I get a 911 call. So that's the reason why we're bringing in the additional officers. That's all they will be doing for a period of 2 to 4 hours.
And that's covered by the grant.
Correct.
But so for 4 hours, we're going to have 2 units riding speeding tickets.
I didn't say writing speeding tickets, I said traffic control. So if they
It could be
choose,
speeding tickets.
correct, if they choose to write citations, they can.
Is there any leeway on 2 miles an hour over, officer discretion?
So what I will leave that as officer discretion. We'll never put a 2 miles an hour over, because speeding, but it's officer discretion. I can tell you that I don't know of an officer that has written anything under 10 miles an hour. But we won't put a number on that, because if you're 1 mile an hour speeding, you're speeding.
I understand that,
But there is officer discretion, yes.
If the state of Tennessee gives you all this money, they're going to expect you to write a bunch of tickets.
No, they expect us to stop vehicles over and document it, whether it be citations or warnings, but it does have to be documented, yes.
So your department is not like other departments that has, not the word quota, but have to write citations in order to get when you do an employee review and they don't have any citations issued. Does that send up a red flag?
No. When we do our employee reviews, it's going to be over the total job. We do like for them to pull over, make 2 contacts, just 2 contacts, and that's
In a shift or an hour?
a shift. Because if you do 2 contacts a shift, you multiply it by, let's say, 7 officers for a month, that adds up. So we all are aware that you don't have to give citations to change behavior, but you do have to be visible to change behavior.
So if they're working, 2 people working 4-hour shift, they can stop.
They can stop as many.
22.
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions of the reports?
I've got another issue. The record list, last month I asked about the record list. You said you would have that done and give us a copy of that.
I do have it done, and I have not gotten a copy, but it is done. Debbie, I'll bring it to you tomorrow.
And update us on the homeless situation. What is your take on the number of homeless people in our community, and are they in multiple locations? Geographically, where are they located?
As of right now, I only know of 1 homeless individual, and we try to make contact with him today.
That's all I have.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you.
Fire Department next.
Good evening. So on the homeless thing, I want to start on that one that Rayline had just mentioned. So we was out last week trying to chase one back over behind the Circle K where we had ran into the big encounter before. I noticed that the building at the Mountain Inn, all the wood and stuff that was supposed to be secured on the back side of it for temporary condemnation until we got through all this court stuff, that wood's been taken off. That's noted. I think there was somebody else that had made the observation that the wood was off the building. That's going to go to the next court date, which will be November the 20th. That's just notes that's going to be given to the judge when we come back into the courtroom. So I'm not going to take any action to it. I'm just going to add it to the current case and move on. I know it's off. That there were a couple different spots in that wooded area again that was noted as, you know, that there was some activity there. Nobody was there when me and the officer went through and actually tried to make contact. So anyway, that's on that side of it.
So, and this is General Sessions Court, right?
This is city court.
City Court.
Yep.
And you're representing us, is that
Yes.
right? Okay.
So that was a continuance from last month. So we have city court every 2 months. Judge Raines continued it. The gentleman produced some paperwork regarding an engineer evaluation of the old Mountain Inn building. He had presented that to Judge, and Judge has given him a continuance to November the 20th. So we'll see where that goes. Anyway, questions on that? I'm sorry for jumping. I just wanted to follow up what he was saying.
It does look like they've done some demo, or something's happened with the roof. There's less roof there than there has been. Is it piddling?
Yep. You gonna leave that alone?
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Question you talk about the homeless. Are you aware of any homeless people living at the flea market in the stalls down there?
Not heard that one, no.
Okay.
Is that a new, or is that a complaint or a report?
I was told that the homeless have discovered the empty stalls at the Monteagle flea market, and that's their new squatters.
We'll check into it.
And then what about on North Bluff Circle, right at the city limits there when you go down the creek, to where the creek is at, back to the left?
Yeah, on down from where the house burned. Yep, I'm aware of that one. I went back there at one point to try to make contact with that one. That one was affiliated with the house on the end of Circle, North Bluff Circle, back there on the loop. So that person had stayed there for a short time, is what I was told, and then he had left the area. He was camping in the woods. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
He rides his bicycle out a couple times a day when I'm over there at my place working, and he waves. I don't know, he may just be.
Reckon he's camping?
On the bicycle.
Okay. I'll check into him too.
That's out, what I call, I guess Dr. Wall's property out past Gridco, where you had the emergency call the other day. There wasn't any encampment up there under the pine trees.
Didn't know about that one. I'll check that one. Okay. Yep. So if any of you, anything homeless or whatever that you see or whatnot, please report to City Hall, because I mean, there's obviously folks moving and people all over, just moving through. I don't know where we're going to go with it. I don't know. I know it's been looked into on the legal side. I know the alderman's talked about it. They're aware of what's going on, so just keep us on our toes with all of it. On the fire department side, 31 calls for the month's been ran. I didn't do the breakdown. I just got my report turned in at 4:15, so I was kind of hoping that it would get presented, but I think Nate's got it up. But anyway, we've done pump tests on the apparatus. That's all been done in-house, and the records have been submitted. That saved our budget around $500. We used to send that out. We've got the testing materials to be able to do it in-house now, so that saved us a little bit of money. Our EMRs is going great. I think the city's got some memo of understanding and an insurance paper that we're going to submit to EMS to put us all on the schedule with them. We've been running calls and providing assistance for EMS as well as the community, so that's going good. We received a check, I think I'd mentioned the alderman, from fire recovery for around $6,500. This was recovering the expenses. If you remember a few months ago, I'd said that the fire truck had ran to the interstate and tore all the tires off of it. So we recovered that expense plus about $1,000, so that was a good hit and saved us some budget. That's about all I've got on fire. We've kind of been laxed for everything going right now. I did get an email before I'd left the office. So our 3500 series pickup truck is going to be delivered on Wednesday. It's coming from Wilson County Motors. That's our brush truck, so I didn't get it in my report, but if y'all want to come down, I'll let y'all know when that truck comes in. I'm excited.
What about the ladder truck?
You gonna use it to tow the ladder truck? That's what's going on.
Well, I mean,
That's my question.
we'll probably put we'll probably put a ladder and a come along on that truck.
Can we sell that ladder truck?
Well, I mean, so when this ladder truck is actually done, and we take possession, so this ladder truck was $15,000, right? And I think that the budget amendment was, what, $25,000 for those that's been there? So, I mean, once this repair is made and sent back to us, this thing's going to be a fairly good truck, right? Top notch. It's the whole hydraulic system that's being replaced. And I do know that the mechanic that was working on this, he's the only one that has touched this. He's the only one certified to touch the hydraulic aspect of it and everything. I mean, I've learned a lot more details to it. His wife's had some medical troubles. He was out for almost 3 months. I mean, I know that doesn't account for the 2 years, but it's coming, hopefully. I mean, hopefully it'll come back, and we're just eager to train on it.
Supply chain.
But the good thing is a ladder truck costs extensive money for your annual response and repairs, you know what I mean? So in essence, it's kind of saving us some money right now. It's in storage. So anyway, codes enforcement, AJ's got one sentence on codes enforcement. We received a complaint from Forest Point Road regarding 2 properties. He's working on that. The Forest Point properties, I've served myself all the way back to the previous administration 2 or 3 different times. It's hard to get any reaction on Forest Point. Don't know where we'll go for that. That's, I mean, we want to treat fairness and equality. I don't know. I know there's a lot to be done over there. So bear with me. We're aware. We've got a new complaint. We'll see where we can get with it. But questions on codes, fire, I skipped along.
Any questions from the alderman on fire department report or codes enforcement?
We'll add codes to what Mr. Lay was talking about with homeless. That's going to fall into code stuff, so we'll put that down as a complaint, and we'll follow up with that through this week, see if we can make contact.
Okay.
So the new food truck ordinance, you are working off of it now?
Yes, so, and I'm not very fluent in that one yet. I'm still reading it and learning it. I know it, but I have to reference it, so I don't want to, don't shoot me any questions right now, because I'm not going to answer them. I'll have to look at
But
it.
it is,
Yep.
we have adopted it and
Yep.
you're
Yes.
doing starting implementation.
That's right,
I
yes.
think we had set a kind of
Is
a
that
leeway
the cost
January
assessment?
1.
Yeah. Yes, I'm good with
Full
that
speed
if y'all are.
January 1.
Yes, I'm perfect with that. I think that would be the easiest way to maintain that one, so. Building inspection. So there's been 8 inspections, has been completed, 6 on residential. I've got 2 commercial properties I was working with. One of them's here with us tonight. I've also been working on a commercial digital sign project that I've been pulling my hair out on. So this goes back to chapter 9 on our sign ordinance. I've learned a lot, and I don't speak digital sign language very fluently. I've learned so much in the last few days, but so the current ordinance is kind of obsolete as far as languages. I think the new digital signs fall under ambience, and there's a lot of stuff that I've learned about digital signage, but I'm talking about the Tower Bank sign. The Tower Bank sign is going to be replaced. They call that message board, is called an ECM, an electronic, or an EMC, electronic message center. That sign is going to be changed. They called me previously and said that they were just going to swap the sign. The original sign had obsolete parts in it. The distributor was, you know, they didn't produce sign parts anymore. They was going to keep the base, keep all the electrical, and just swap the sign out. That sign dimension, the new sign is about 1 foot taller. It's going to still remain about 8 foot long. It's going to be, everything's about the same. So that's going to fall under international existing, right? That's falling under existing code and existing property maintenance. And it says that they can maintain and keep up their equipment. So without a doubt, I said, sure, go ahead. Well, now I find out that our current ordinance, just trying to reference the ordinance to make sure we're all compliant, our ordinance is technologically not been updated. So we need to look at that sign ordinance on chapter 9. I'm going to give them permission on this one unless you all oppose with me right now. They've already had the sign ordered. It's already laying there. They're going to install it. I'm good with it as far as the inspection side and as far as building code, but I think this is another ordinance that we need to look into.
So what is the issue? Is it section K or section L?
I don't remember, Nate. It's on chapter 9. We go down to the digitals, and it's going to talk about 4,000 nits daytime and 150 nits at nighttime.
Yeah, with automatic control mechanism.
Yeah, so a television's about 5,000 nits for an LCD TV. This is what I've learned, and I'm speaking language now that's over my head. But anyway, the newer style signs with the technological advancement on these signs runs off of ambience. So it basically has an east and west sensor, and if it's a big bright sunny day out with east-west sun, that sign's going to produce brighter nits. Now this sign at the Tower Bank's up to 10,500 nits. That's what caught my eye. But the ambient side of that's going to reduce that, and that's like 100% burning as bright as it'll go. If it's an overcast day like today, that sign's going to drop down to 200 nits. It's an ambient adjusted sign. So according to the sign pro that I talked to, don't mind mentioning his name, Perry Powell's the sign guy that I talked to that sells Surefire signs, and that guy is he's willing to talk to us and discuss signs with us, whatever we need as far as his help. They don't even make the true dead-on nit signs anymore that's produced by the nit output. That's what I was told from Perry. So, I mean, where do we go with it?
Well, I think the ordinance should be reviewed with the technology input, so we'll work on that separately from tonight.
Sure.
The other thing is, I don't see a problem with the bank proceeding.
As long as you guys are good, I'm gonna move forward with it.
I think that would be fine. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I think we call it existing, is that the?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's the way I was gonna proceed. Just call it existing, put notes on it.
Okay,
That's
thank
all I've
you.
got. Thank you, guys.
Parks and Rec, there's nothing. Utility manager?
I don't have anything unless they do.
Did we get a sheet like we used to get? We've got some new pages here.
It's in the second, the agenda add-on.
Yeah, I'm looking at that, I just wanted to make sure I hadn't got through the minutes here. And then the other thing, I think we're meeting with Travis next week, later on,
Wednesday.
yeah.
It's this Wednesday.
Yeah, but there was some improvement when y'all put the vents in, just for the public's knowledge.
Oh, yes. Do you want me to do that, or you want to do that?
Well, last time I just saw them down there by Dollar General one day when I was down there, and they were putting the first one in.
We put it in, we done drop down test last Thursday. We got nothing in.
Okay.
He's got all, I can't remember all.
But there was improvement, or?
Yeah.
Yes,
And so he'll update us Wednesday on the numbers.
yes.
Well, it's looks like it's gonna be able to rehab that lift station.
So they think the valve's gonna, was the obstruction?
It's gonna help, and it may need another one. They're gonna do all, they hadn't really done all the figures on the pumping and all that, but they're gonna have the all report ready, I guess, Wednesday.
Okay.
We have it all finished.
Okay. What I understand is that they put on a gauge by the pump station itself. The first relief valve was a help, and there was progress made. We may need a second relief valve, and Travis will go over that Wednesday morning at the workshop. But preliminarily, it looks like the numbers are working, where we may not have to do as much as extensive work as we had originally planned. Okay, any questions on utilities? Street department, there was nothing. We did building inspect. Beautification, tree board.
Well, the mayor already said the poker run was quite successful, and we're going to build on it next year. Thanks to Alva Michelle, who made that work with a lot of volunteers. We are looking for funding to put a mural on the side of the fire hall. I keep saying that so y'all won't be surprised, okay? Landscaping, thank you for the $3,500. I've got a group who are going to look at where it is, what we need to do, and how we can make things look pretty. We probably, Travis, we probably won't do much with the fire hall because of your drainage problem. I think it'll take a little more expense to fix that. The Christmas tree trail, we are working on it now, and we are seeking individuals and businesses to participate. I'm going to hand out this flyer to you all.
Yeah, I've got one, sorry.
Thank you.
We are hoping to get 20 businesses, organizations, churches to participate this year. We only have 20 signs, so we're going to hold it to 20. And then the last thing is I've got a motion for the council. The Beautification Committee moves that the town purchase a Voice of the Voiceless communication boards for use with autistic and nonverbal children to help them communicate and play with others in the parks. The board is 3 feet by 2 feet, costs $82.76 plus $59.85 for shipping. The cost for 2 is $225. One board each will be placed in Harton and Hannah Pickett parks. That is the board, and that is a motion from the committee.
Therefore, it does not need a second. Is there a discussion on the motion that Martha Ann submitted for the autistic boards, one at each park? $225 was the total amount?
I just gave it to Debbie.
Or was that,
What does it say?
I think the motion has to come from the council. Request,
no, it was a committee report.
they can't make motions
Why not?
that are binding on this council.
Because they're not an
I thought
official
they-
committee.
I thought as part of Imagine Monteagle, they would be an official committee.
Well,
All right, then,
Excuse
Nate,
me,
why
the
don't you make
council-
the motion? Okay, Nate,
Okay.
please make a motion.
Let me bring it up.
It's right here.
The beautification, so I moved that we purchase 2 A Voice for the Voiceless communication boards for the use with autistic and nonverbal children to help them communicate and play with others in parks.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
We probably need to put the cost to it. The board is 3
Well-
feet by 2 feet, costs $82.76 plus $59.85 for shipping. Cost for 2 is $225.37 total, and therefore that will be the amount on the motion.
I second.
Okay. Nate moved, Grant seconded. Is there discussion on the motion?
So this is an interactive toy so that
Yes.
they push the buttons and
no, what the children do is they come up, or they'll maybe bring a friend and say, I want to play with ball, or I want to go run, or I want to go get something to drink. And it tells them what they want to do.
So it doesn't give-
It's not an electronic sign, it's
No.
just a placard
Oh,
that
it's
they
just a
can
placard,
point to
okay.
and move around with.
And the alphabet at the top lets them spell. Like if they want to tell their name, they can spell out their name.
Any other discussion or questions on the motion?
it'd probably be good for little kids too.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. If we can
Okay.
get with that, we'll order that.
Yeah, I would like to point out that at a previous council meeting, this committee was voted as an official part of the council.
That was my understanding as well.
It was a motion that was done, I don't know, back in spring.
But I think unless our charter's altered, it doesn't become that from Robert's Rules and Orders.
I don't know. Okay. Anything else, Martha Ann?
No.
Thank you. Imagine Monteagle, Grant?
Just a quick note, I think I may have even updated this last time, but two particular grants were applied for through, as part of Imagine Monteagle. One was the Brownfield Assessment Grant, and the other was for the painting of the mural on the fire hall. And we are waiting on the mural on the fire hall, and I had a question, Mayor, for you. You had sent me, I couldn't tell from your email that you forwarded over if that Brownfield assessment was approved or if it was just recognized that they received the request.
My recollection is the latter. They acknowledged receipt and processing it.
Okay.
But I can verify that tomorrow, and I will.
Those two grant applications are in on behalf of Imagine Monteagle, so we'll wait to hear. I think within the next 30 days is when we're supposed to hear about whether they've been issued to us or not for approval. And that's all I've got.
Thank you. Any questions on that? Okay. Alderman report. Grant, you have anything?
Did we get any further information about the solids removal? We were going to look into whether it was going to be whether we were going to use a bond or whether we are going to do SRF or CDBG funds or loans for the, it's basically kind of for the screw press at the plant. So we wouldn't have to do as much haul away.
There are a couple items we're going to address at Wednesday's workshop. That's one of them. The contractors there this week doing the pressing at the sewer plant. But we're looking at the bonds, SRF. The window opens in February, I believe, and that's a little longer than we need. And their timetable is a little longer than we would desire. So we're probably looking at bonds and other sources of financing, and that'll be addressed Wednesday morning.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, I would like to propose, and I'm not really sure if we can vote on this tonight or if there needs to be a proposal first, but I would like to propose transferring money from our operating account into our capital account to beef up what we're going to need in the future for deteriorating resources. And so I would like to propose a $500,000 transfer to the capital account from the operating account. So that money is set aside, and then I think hopefully potentially next month we can do some designation with not only that money but with some other money out of the capital account that's designated specifically for particular items. Not using up all of it, we would still have some flexibility with capital account funds, but for tonight I'd like to propose the $500K transfer.
Well, I'd like to wait until we meet with the accountant to see if that's an accurate number or not.
Well, based on the last 4 months since the year closed out, 3 months since the last month, or since the year closed out at the end of June, I know we're waiting to meet with Stephanie. We've had to postpone that a few times, but it appears from the July, August, September, and essentially the October report that we've got sufficient money to go ahead and make that decision to transfer. I believe there's an excess of $2 million, which is a year's worth of operating for us. And pulling out $500K would still give us at least 9 months worth of reserve, and that's assuming that we get absolutely zero income from anything over the next 9 months.
Well, I understand, but I'm not sure there's a time crunch that 2 weeks wouldn't resolve, so unless there's objection, I just as soon wait for the accountant to verify those numbers.
Was that a motion, or when you say?
No, it was a request, or a comment.
I mean, I can make a motion if we need to make it formal to see and if it doesn't get seconded, that's fine. You can vote it down. I'm just bringing it up.
I think you would have to have a motion.
If you're
I'd like to make a motion that we transfer $500,000 into the capital account from our operating account.
I'll second. Or Dean, you want second?
No, you can't.
I'll second it.
I would like the motion to include pending the review of the accountant. And I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do that.
I'm assuming we can come back and readjust those numbers.
So why not just wait the 2 weeks?
Because we're always waiting on everything. That's
Well-
why 2 or 3 things here we've been waiting on for 2 or 3 months.
I know, that's how government works, they tell me.
They don't have to work.
Well, but that's what they tell me. And considering the size of the amount, I really don't see what the harm is in waiting 2 weeks.
I mean, since we've seen 3 months worth of data in the new year, in our new fiscal year, we're still roughly at 2 million, a little over 2 million, or just under 2 million for excess funds. And so I'm not sure the need to wait to talk with the accountant, but
Yeah,
motion's on the table.
I brought this up at the last 2 years worth of budget meetings. And so I kind of agree with Grant. We've been talking about it for a long time.
And you
we
wanted a
don't-
meeting and we were having a meeting, so I don't understand the urgency now.
2 years ago, when I asked for it, we had a meeting and then no action was taken.
Well-
And we're constantly told that we're broke as a town, and that doesn't seem to be the case when you look at our general fund. It is the case when you look at our capital reserve account. And if we're going to be financially responsible, we need to be saving money and putting it into capital reserves. So,
Sorry to interrupt, Nate, but if the last 3 months, if there's something so drastic that has happened that we don't have that money when we sit down with the accountant in 2 weeks, or whenever that is, then we've got much bigger problems. I think the money is there. I don't think we need to sit down with the accountant for her to verify that, because it shows up in our monthly accounting reports every month with the extra $2 million that we've got. So I'm not sure why the wait, and I guess that's because that makes it a whole other month before we really start putting this into action.
when we brought it up...
Well,
Can I speak? When we brought it up at the last budget meeting, Stephanie said we needed 6 to 9 months of operating capital. So that's between 1 and 1.5 million, and we're well over 2. So it seems to be a really easy lift, and we're not asking to spend the money, we're asking to put it in savings so that we can begin to accumulate. We have lots of things that the town needs to be saving money for, roads being one of them.
It's a lot of depreciating assets that we're trying
Yeah.
to cover.
And it just seems to be the responsible thing to do. If it becomes a problem, I think, and certainly if Stephanie tells us that it's a problem that needs to be undone, we can undo it.
which is my point.
well-
For 2 weeks, you'd get a definite answer.
So it takes two readings to do a budget meeting, to do a budget amendment, where a motion is on the floor to do a budget amendment. We will
Okay.
have a meeting with Stephanie in between this first motion and a second motion, so I think we have ample time to undo it if it comes
Okay,
out as a
you know
problem.
my feelings. Any other discussion on the motion? Roll call vote, please. Or did you have something, Dean?
No, I just
Oh.
asked for the rule.
Roll call, please.
Grant,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Nate,
Yes.
Mayor,
No.
and Dean.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Grant?
That is all for me, thank you.
All right, Dan, anything?
No.
Nate?
First point of clarification, you said a workshop on Wednesday. I don't have a workshop on my calendar for this coming Wednesday. Did I miss one?
Yes, you did.
It just came out this afternoon?
No, last week sometime, as soon as I had the dates. That was your SVP. There are several workshops scheduled.
9 o'clock on the 4th.
9 o'clock. Well,
No,
this
on the
coming Wednesday
29th.
is the 29th.
This Wednesday at 9
So I have
o'clock.
the one on the 4th. I didn't have,
Okay, that's one I've got for you. You got one on 29?
Yes, this Wednesday,
when did it come out?
last week sometime, the week before, as soon as I had the dates.
That's right, yeah. I remember now.
Okay, there's a workshop this coming Wednesday at 9.
That's correct.
So that was, I had emailed Debbie, so we had passed a resolution on an ordinance on first reading to amend the town ordinance on who pays for water and sewer line extensions, and
Didn't pass it.
And I would like
It's
that
not been
brief.
passed.
we passed it on first reading last,
No, because
No.
I didn't even have it.
You didn't have it, came in after the fact.
to the minutes. Yeah, but we made the motion and we passed it, and we were gonna make sure that it was right for this week. Thank you for putting it in ordinance form.
You've already got that.
Yeah, I could. So we could go back and look at the minutes, but I'm fairly confident we passed it.
Lord, I've done some what I need.
So this ordinance clarifies the language in 14-25. It was an issue that we ran into recently with a developer. We were clear on who pays for water line extension and upgrades when there is no water line, but we ran into a situation
where the water line was undersized, and it was unclear whether that was our responsibility, or whether that was the town's responsibility.
I thought it had to be reviewed.
I thought we were just changing some verbiage in what we had. It was very minor.
We did, and I believe we passed it, and then this is what we passed. Well, it should be in those
It wasn't
59
even on
minutes.
the agenda last month. I looked.
And yeah, it wasn't on the agenda. I brought it up as in Alderman comments, just like tonight. Well, Dean, you seem to have done the tightest read on those 59 pages of notes.
And I don't know who said what. I've got what they said, what was said, but.
Well, then maybe the safe thing to do is I'll make a motion to pass this ordinance, and we can go back and check the minutes, and if it was indeed passed in the last meeting, then this will be the final reading. If it was not in fact passed on the final reading, on the first time, then this will be the first reading. Does that make sense to everybody?
But who reviewed this?
And
We reviewed it in the city council meeting last week. There was last month.
But
There was a conversation about whether legal needed to be involved, and we decided collectively to go ahead and vote on it, that it wasn't so complicated that it needed an attorney.
if I remember right, you were making the changes on the screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna bring it up so the community knows what we're doing here.
Yeah, I thought we voted on this also.
Well, I thought we had agreed in principle on the verbiage, and this document was going to be prepared, so we've got three different concepts here.
Well, I gotta make it bigger if anybody's gonna see it. Why do you wanna be so small? Hang on, come back over here and get smarter. There it is.
I understand we may not have needed legal review, but I would have thought we needed engineering review, because there are a couple of comments about other ordinances that will be coming up Wednesday as to wording and effect, but that's up to you all.
So this is the ordinance. It simply, I think we just added one sentence. I changed the sentence to said, persons desiring water and or sewer service must request a feasibility report from the town of Monteagle. That's an ordinance that we've already put into place. Where that feasibility reports indicate that no service is currently available, or that current service is insufficient to meet demand expected at the new connections, the persons desiring water and or sewer service must pay all the cost of making such extensions or improvements. Now, so that the community and the development community knows, the next ordinance down gives the town the ability to waive that if we find it to be in the town's best interest. But it just makes it very clear who the primary responsibility goes to. And again, it came up because there was a small water line that was serving a development, and it was going to be a large cost to the town to upgrade that line, and it wasn't clear whose responsibility it was.
So is there a motion?
I'm going to make a motion that we pass ordinance 14-25 on second reading, I believe, but if minutes prove me wrong, then on first reading.
Second. The motion seems to be out of order if we don't know what reading it is.
Yes, I would agree.
Well, y'all want me to just do first reading to make it safe? Okay, so make the motion that we pass ordinance 14-25 on first reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there further discussion on the motion?
Roll call.
All those, this is the first reading. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And
Okay, anything else you have?
yeah, the other item is related, and I'd love to say I'm on the ball, and I just feel like the best thing for us to do is do this together. But the truth of it is, I just didn't get as far as I wanted to in looking at this. This has come up several times over the last several months. This is our current ordinance on offenses against town property. It is sparse, and it only applies to Laurel Lake. And to be perfectly frank, golf carts are not a use. But Anyway, what I'd like to do to this, and I went ahead and started a draft, and I want to talk about and get to council's input for a few minutes. I went ahead and started redrafting it to add a section for all town-owned property. So it's come up a couple of times that there were things happening in parks that people were not excited about from a safety standpoint, from a public relations standpoint, but we didn't really have any tools in our toolbox to deal with it. So I put this up, and I want to just kind of get people's quick input. And in talking to Debbie, we won't propose an ordinance tonight, but I want to get everybody's input, and then we'll propose an ordinance for next month so that we can get it nailed down. What it does is it just gives Chief Rayline some more tools in the toolbox if he has problems within the parks and around City Hall that he needs to deal with. But I wanted to ask y'all, what things, so loitering seems to be, was the first thing that came to mind, but it seems so loosely defined. I wanted to bring that up with y'all. I do think camping is going to be easy. Overnight parking on town property is pretty easy. That gives them some tools, but just wanted to put it out there. Anybody else got any comments and thoughts on it?
Well, I don't think the way you're proposing it, that it would be applicable to Hardin Park. We don't own that property. I think there needs to be verbiage.
So how about town-owned and leased?
Well, whatever, to make it legal.
Okay.
I mean, if you say town-owned property, we do not own Hardin Park.
I'm going to put town-managed. How's that? Yeah,
Make sure it's included.
that's why I'm asking. All right.
So I'm not sure how to describe, what wording to use in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things about kind of solicitation or because it's hard to define some kind of use that could be somebody just parking there for long periods of time. I don't know how to distinguish that from, I'm all for this, I just don't know how to distinguish that from some of the things that are.
Solicitation is dealt with in a separate part of our ordinance, so that's been one of the things when we have overnight camping in our parks and overnight parking in our parks, it's not addressed by solicitation. So overnight parking was one that I was certainly going to suggest. I think probably fires are another easy one. I don't think we want people making fires on town-owned property.
Agree.
And probably want to prohibit ATV use.
Okay, well, that's all fine. We can work on that to get different input from the council members. The only thing that I've always said about parks is what all the other parks seem to do, sunrise to sunset.
So you want the idea to parks are
Just something to be discussed down the road.
all publicly managed property is open sunrise to sunset unless otherwise
Unless granted by
posted.
permit or something.
It gets dark at 4:15 and you're going to close City Hall at 4:15?
Yep.
No, it goes through 30.
Yeah, that's been my problem. As a kid, I used to like to play in parks after dark till 6. So
Okay, just a comment. Are there any other comments that we can pass on to this ordinance?
Are you going to define the Laurel Lake property that the city owns?
Well, now that would be fraught now, wouldn't it? Because I think there's some question about some parts of it.
Yeah, I think there
The
is.
city owns very little.
Well, I did that because right now, golf carts and ATVs are prohibited in Laurel Lake. Well, that's fine. I don't think anybody's going to drive in the lake. I'm assuming there's...
But what I'm saying is like the property owners that own the land adjacent to the lake,
would regulate their own property.
I would think they should be able to do that.
Yes.
And that what we do here would not be applicable to the property.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
We're not talking about anybody's private property.
Okay.
And I'm going off of what was made an ordinance in 1989, and you probably know the boundaries of Laurel Lake better than I do, but somebody in 1989 thought it made sense to prohibit golf carts and ATVs, and I'm assuming they weren't amphibious ATVs or golf carts, so I guess I'm assuming there's some property there.
But it's very little.
Yeah.
It's not what the public really thinks that they own.
And I'm mostly trying to clean up the language and give the police officers some tools around our parks primarily, because that's come up several times over the last year, and we've talked about doing an ordinance, and I just figure, well, we might as well have the conversation.
Okay, so if there are any more comments, we can pass them on.
Anything else?
Do you have anything else on your report?
Well, I was going to say, if this seems like what everybody wants, then I'll send it to Debbie to have it put in the form of an ordinance.
Well, I don't think we should be drafting an ordinance in the council meeting. You just pass that on to whatever you put it on, we'll review it.
Okay, but that's kind of what public meetings are for, drafting ordinances and fixing problems.
Public meetings are to review ordinances already drafted. But
That's what we had to do to fix this one. All right, so
yeah.
I'll send this on to Debbie. But the mayor had a comment, and then I'll shut up. Mayor had a comment about closing it in certain hours. Like I said, I don't like the sunrise to sunset because I like after hours, but
Well, I was just thinking of Hannah Pickett Park.
It
because
does-
I don't know what else, the land we own.
it might make sense to have parks are closed from a certain time period, say 10, 11 o'clock to 6 a.m. Do y'all want me to?
I was just going by South Cumberland Park, their sunrise to sunset, but whatever comes out in the ordinance.
Yeah.
Do you have any other reports, Nate?
Midnight out there in parks.
Nate, do you have anything else?
Nate, hold on to this before you, don't send it in tomorrow. We'll give it some thought. I may give you some input on this before you send it over to there to be printed out.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to try to solve some of these problems, so I'm done.
Okay, Dean, you have anything?
4 or 5.
Okay,
The first one is back on the, what I refer to as the Veterans Memorial area, where we would establish flag poles, the U.S. flag, and then poles with the flags of the branches of service. And it's always, we talk about, we need to see where we're going to put that. And I think there's adequate room in the park here, and I think that I would like to state that I've asked the mayor to meet with me this week and go over there and kind of look and sketch out and maybe flag off some areas and get some measurements and see if we can come up with a sketch plan to see if it would work or if it would be something that the council does not want to do in the park. And it may be something, the council feels they don't want to honor the veterans and pay homage to their service, then the vote needs to reflect that. But again, this is about the 3rd or 4th month I brought it up, and it's just the wheels are spinning, and I guess that's my fault. So I will try to get traction here and get input. And the mayor and I talked about it today, and one of the things we talked about was maybe having 2 or 3 potential locations that it could go in if the council feels strongly about not having it at one place to offer another place for it to be.
I'd like to be involved in that.
and the mayor agreed with you, I think you should say, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir.
You'd like to be involved?
I think it should be visible to the traffic on Dixie Lee. If it's feasible to do that. Other towns use places that are easily noticed as you drive through town, and I think it should be something of that nature, possibly next to the community center.
And I think one very important part, Dan, is to have adequate parking nearby, because I think you'll have a lot of the veterans that will want to come and visit from time to time, and many of them, health-wise, aren't as healthy as some of the rest of us, and the closer they can get, I think the better it would be for them, and the more they would attend and come there. And I'm assuming you could do other events, certainly Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and even the 911 if you wanted to, or whatever. But I think it's time for us to take some action, and there may be better ways, and I'm not opposed to, I just think we need options, and we need to choose what we think is the best option.
So we'll be working on that, I'll let you know when we get together.
Yeah, I'd like to be in on that, yes, please.
Yes,
Okay.
I'd like to hear that too.
I still like the idea of putting it front and center. We've got the Veterans Memorial there in front of the fire department. And right now, the thing that gets me there is that we've got 911 flag, we've got fire department flag, and we've got police flag, and sometimes they're not sailing on the same message. You know, sometimes one's full mast, sometimes one's half mast, and sometimes one's in better shape than the other. And I love the idea of consolidating to one that we all pay a lot of attention to and really make a showcase for Monteagle. So
Well, that's something
I'm
we'll
open to other
start
options,
reviewing,
but
and we will. Gene and I and Dan will look at that.
Well, anybody that's got input.
Or anyone that has input, it's just,
Citizens or whoever, I mean, it's not restricted to.
well, beautification, yeah, I think you'd have
Yeah, I'd
input
like
with
to
the
be
parks.
involved. The monument in front of the fire hall is not veterans.
No, breast cancer. Breast cancer.
Yeah, it's survivors.
I think there's two. There's not a
I
big
don't
one,
know.
two.
What else, Gene?
Okay.
Well, I know on the breast cancer, there's one at the post office, and that may very well be there too. But I was thinking that when Mayor Sanders, Kay Sanders was the mayor, maybe when they did work on the walkway thing there was some donations given and something
There's
was put up there to reflect the people that,
CERT.
I didn't see it.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
may be wrong, I haven't, so I
Nah.
buy it 50 times a day, but I haven't read it in a long time, and
I stopped
I might,
in.
you know,
Well, we can look at that.
yeah, I was gonna say, all we need to do is go down there and read it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Tony?
Yeah, I think a lot of the name that's on the sidewalk is a lot of people that donated money for certain footage of sidewalk to be put through town and what that was for. The one originally in front of the fire hall was for the breast cancer when that was first put up. Another gentleman, actually, he lives in Winchester now, but he's the one that put the monument up out at the post office for the breast cancer. But I think on the one for the memorial, if we did one for all branches of the military, there is a lot of folks that live in this small town. Of course, we've had a lot of folks that moved in this town, a lot of old ones that passed on. We've had a lot of folks that live in this town that served in World War I, World War II, Vietnam War. One of the people I talked to Greg about it the other day, a boy that passed away in 1969, there's two different books out on him, and he's from the Monteagle area. And in the book it says that people in Grundy County should bow to him on Memorial Day of the stuff he done to save veterans when he was in the military. So, I think that this right here would be a big plus for the town of Monteagle. You still would have 77,000 people that comes to walk in the Mount Goat Trail. I think if that's the case, a lot of those folks would like to step off the trail and look at all the stuff like we have down at All Saints Chapel, Nate, there where you can go in and look up the past history of the Civil War soldiers and stuff like that and get all the history.
Yeah, I think it's, I'm
All
ready
right,
to
well,
talk about it.
Dean will continue to work on that. Thank you.
Next thing falls in the same category. We're talking about bathrooms for the city parks, and we're still just talking about them. And I think we need to come up with some options on that. And I would think that Nate would have more information about some of these nature outdoor things that might work. Or have you been involved in like Tracy City's got some kind, I've never been over to it, but you can probably enlighten us. But the point is, I think we need to get a plan and quit talking about it.
Well, I think last month the mayor was going to look into cameras because these toilets work and they are open for use when the pavilion is reserved. So the issue has been vandalism and been these offenses against the town. But I think last month you said you were going to look into cameras so that we can observe, we can keep track of the outside of the door, just to be clear. So that if there is a vandalism incident, that we know who was going in and who is coming out. I think to me that's the simplest thing. We've got restrooms, they work.
And so that's something the police department would monitor.
Well, I would think we could do it a couple of different ways. If we wanted to have them open during business hours of City Hall, it could be they come unlock those two doors when they unlock all the other doors, and then there's no additional expense in operation. If we wanted to leave them open up later, then I think the police would have to.
Whenever the park is open.
So that gets to, are there operating hours in the park? Yeah. But I think that's simple. I don't think that takes any real money. It just takes some operational, we just have to decide that we're going to put a camera up to monitor for vandalism and decide who's going to lock it and unlock it.
The camera's up. The camera is up.
The camera is up, you say?
And a new light has been put in front of the, where the doors are.
So is there any reason why we shouldn't begin to open them up?
Are they in any kind of shape to be used?
So we got to winterize them, Debbie says?
Yeah,
Leave them open.
I mean, I think my wife hosted a dance there 2 weeks ago, and they had 100 folks there.
Good deal.
We have to winterize them because they
Leave them
are
open.
not.
They're not heated. Okay.
So we need to come up with a plan.
We probably come up with a plan by spring, sounds like a, if they're not winterized. So when do y'all usually winterize them, Deb?
I don't know if the guys do that and it starts getting real cold.
Probably around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's probably about time to winterize them, I would think.
So we'll talk about that again next month.
Well, sounds like we have a plan, we just need to figure out who's opening them.
The next thing, I want to talk briefly, see about the hate fence, the status of the hate fence. I've been told, Mayor, you sent a letter out, or legal sent a letter out. Can you update us officially on the hate fence?
I sent a letter out that they appear before BZA to resolve the overarching question, and that time period expires, I believe, November 1st or 2nd.
Is that a directive, or was that a suggestion, or?
No, it was a directive that they appear and file application for BZA hearing.
Okay. And then you just sign that as the mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
It was basically just a request to resolve an issue.
Well, it was either, was it a request or a directive?
There was a directive to appear.
That's all I need to know on that. The next thing is, I had brought up, and it was in the minutes last meeting, that, I don't know who Larry is, but it says public streets as well. Next thing I have, Larry and I talked about granting raises to employees during the middle of the budget year, and I asked you, being the mayor, to get a ruling from MPAS on that. MPAS, well, I guess it was you talking. MPAS told me that I was responsible for the day-to-day, and I was the mayor, and I could do those things. And I asked if you would get that in writing from MPAS. Have we received
I
that?
requested that and something else that we needed from MTAS, and I have yet to get that, but I'm following up with them to get the written request. The verbal is what you recited. I'm following up to get the written.
And I guess this is you again, I have no idea. So I want to further discuss it at our October workshop. Do we have a written thing from MPAS? And I didn't get a written thing yet. No, okay. Whatever that is. And then the next thing, so I'm assuming we'll deal with this in November.
Well, hopefully we'll have something by the workshop with the accountant.
And then the next thing was, we were going, I brought up about the employee hearing that was dismissed.
And we scheduled a workshop for that in November as well.
But the motion was, if the minutes are correct, is I made the motion to pursue this matter and grant a hearing to the employee and hear the stories and gather the information and facts, hopefully. And then the council can, I feel like the council has the authority to take action on that, so that would be my motion. And then somebody said, well, the mayor would have said, is there a second to the motion? Alderman Fletcher, I'll second that motion. And then when it was voted on, it was, says, any other discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, one other thing, it passed 5-0, it says. So I'm assuming by that, we officially said we were granting a hearing on that matter.
And that's set for that workshop.
We can't vote in a workshop.
No, but you gather the facts and information and then present it at a town meeting, at a council
That
meeting.
wasn't what my motion was.
Well, that's what I interpreted, so.
Well, I think we need to call a special call meeting.
Well, after the workshop, we will.
Well, I make a motion that we have a special call meeting advertised for the purpose of personnel matters, and it will have to be after the workshop anyway, but for it to be legal. Is that correct, Debbie? On notification and and that we deal with personnel matters, including the aforementioned there, and get this taken care of. So that would be my motion.
I second.
Any discussion on the motion? Roll call. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed.
Okay, I think the last thing,
You're gonna put a date to that?
as soon as she can publish, and if y'all have dates you can attend, just work it out with Debbie, I don't care. I'll be gone the 7th through the 14th. But you have to do it, I mean, it's gonna take a week or so to get it in the paper, isn't it?
Because I put it in the message on Fridays.
Okay. So it's gonna be after the 14th anyway. Okay. Okay. It looks like the last thing I've got is legal issues. Mayor, is there any updates on any legal issues with the city? There's rumors afloat about us being served with something from an attorney. And then we have the Lawson litigation that's in mediation.
Right.
And then we had another one.
Well, that's,
On the parking, the RV parking at the church.
yes. There's mediation for the Lawson suit. I don't have a date yet. They're talking probably in December. I've spoken to the attorney several times from the insurance company, and we're waiting for a date on the parking matter at the church. And the other case was put off till December 1st, I believe. Which one was that we all went down on?
One about the road.
Oh, yeah, and then the Unaka Drive case was put over till December 1st.
Are there any amounts we've had to expend of the city's money to the insurance company for deductibles in this budget?
Yeah, we cover the insurance portion, I think is what, 5,000?
It was 2,500.
2,500.
On which case? I'm talking about the RDT thing, it's over.
I don't recall the individual amounts, it's whatever the insurance company gives us for that payment, and I can get that
So
for
we
you
got
tomorrow.
we got some kind of email about some procedure of a lawyer contacting. Have you been contacted by an attorney or anything? The city been in contact with an attorney or anything concerning any other matters other than?
The ones that you mentioned, we got an order, nothing about a court case, just to preserve, preserve information and facts on that case. And that's all we did, and we replied that yes, we would not destroy any evidence. But this was a matter that involved RBT.
RBT?
No, it's not RBT, it's Rodney Kilgore.
Oh, Rodney Kilgore, I'm sorry.
RBT?
And the police department.
Yeah.
No? Okay, so we have been served notice of some sort.
To preserve information.
And did you send money to the insurance company on that issue?
$2,500.
So you spent $2,500 and that the insurance company asked us to do that, or did we just?
Yeah.
Okay. And quickly, I've got one other thing. I promise I'll be brief on this. In reference to the city judge, I think the council needs to study and look at the possibility that we need to evaluate the performance of the city judge. Every time we have anything come up from Travis or the police department, it seems that the judge has granted a 2-month extension, or that it's, to me, it's not working in a fair way for the town of Monteagle. And I've been told certain cases, and one in particular was a person that had been cited on more than one occasion for stop sign. And the judge said, well, tonight's your lucky night. They're having traffic court in Tracy City. If you want to go to traffic court, I'll dismiss your case. And I don't know if that's true, yay or no. But there's other cases, and I feel like these cases need to be heard in a reasonable time frame. And if it's something simple, like a stop sign or the building at the motel or whatever, that in all fairness, and one thing that the minister last month prayed on was for the common good of the community. And I think, my opinion is, I would like for us to evaluate the city judge and consider replacing the city judge with another judge. And I think that the mayor and I talked about that today. And I don't think we're in violation of the sunshine law when we talked about that.
No, we just discussed things for information.
And the mayor asked me what I thought we needed. I said, I think we need Judge Roy Bain. And so we'll be going from one extreme to the other. So maybe we can meet in the middle.
Help me. I don't know who Roy Beam is.
Anyway, I would make a motion that the council study the issue of evaluating the city judge and the judge's performance.
Is there a second to the motion?
What does it mean? What does an evaluation mean? What are you asking us to do?
To look at the history of the docket and what the judge has ruled and the time frame in which they have ruled, not whether it's guilty or innocent. I'm not questioning that. I just think it bogs down and they put it off, and they don't have court but every 2 months anyway. So it's kind of like the motel thing down there. That thing was initiated to the owners, I think, in before December of last year.
Yes. It's ongoing with the state fire marshal's office, et cetera.
And we had to follow certain days on the calendar. But he said a while ago they postponed it for 2 more months.
Yeah.
And unless there's an unknown legal reason that we should be, as a party, we should be told what that is.
No, I think it's a good idea. I guess I'm not sure whether we need a resolution to do it or whether we just need to do it. But that's why I was asking.
Well, I don't care if informally, if you know, I guess the mayor could call a workshop on it, and if enough people showed up.
Is it something where MTAS could help us, where we could?
I just think it's not working as efficiently as it should.
They're not going to help us find a judge.
No, but do they? I would assume that there are court minutes. Is that right? That we could. There are no court minutes.
No, there'll be a docket, and it'll show what came before city court. I'm assuming the way it used to be. And we have an employee that we pay to handle the docket and what comes before the judge. And then the judge hears the case, or they postpone it, or the judge rules in favor of or against. And then that's noted on the citation. And all that is put in a file, and that's here at City Hall, or should be. And then fines are collected, or court costs are collected, or and I'm assuming if you got to go to traffic court, that they have to submit proof of completion of that. Would that be right, David? Or you can inform us. I'm just guessing. Okay.
Well, what would happen if one of us, and I'm happy to do it, sent an email to the legal consulting arm of MTAS and said, you know, we are concerned that our city judge may not be performing adequately as expected. Can you help us with evaluation criteria and help us understand? Because I guess unless I have another city court to compare it to, I have a hard time knowing. You know, to the mayor's point, government sometimes moves slow. I agree. Our city court seems to move really slow, but I just don't know how to evaluate it. I don't know what the benchmarks are.
All I'm doing is I'm identifying what I think is the problem. I do not know what the solution is.
Well, I can contact MTS. I don't think we need an email questioning the judge's decisions, because you're going to get into a whole bag of worms. So I can call them and ask for guidance on selecting city judges.
I'm not questioning that.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. What I said was we're looking for some guidance in how to evaluate performance, and I think that's reasonable. To, you know, it doesn't seem like it should take 2 months to tell somebody their building's falling down and you need to have an order to demolish it. That seems straightforward. I get that, but But unless I know, MTS could come back and say, well, there are like 14 other municipalities and they on average take 8 months and your guy's only taking 2 months. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
I mean, it's been going on for a long time,
I'll reach out and I'll CC everybody on the council and the mayor.
yeah, I'm not questioning
Oh, thank you.
the innocence or guilt of what the judge is doing.
Yeah, I think we should be real careful in our wording. That's my point.
Oh, yeah, and when I say I'm not questioning the judge is ruling in guilt or innocence, to me, that's pretty plain.
No, it's his process.
So I would withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Can
Do you have anything else? Okay. What?
While we have everybody here, would it be all right to move the workshop on the 29th to 8:30? I've got back-to-back meetings every hour that morning, and that would leave me more time. You okay with that,
Sure,
Mayor?
this Wednesday, the 29th?
Which one?
The 29th,
This Wednesday.
this
To
coming
what-
Wednesday.
To what, 8:30?
To 8:30. Dan, does that work for you? Okay, thank you, guys.
I'm gonna back up. Dean didn't have it in his report, Alderman report. We have a police matter that was mentioned there about Rodney Kilgore having a lawsuit against the city in reference to a police matter. I've received documentation by way of my fellow councilman about a police officer that is employed by the city of Monteagle that the post commission of the state of Tennessee declares that he is not eligible to be an officer in the state of Tennessee. Is anybody aware of that?
No, but if you'll get with me tomorrow, I'll look into it.
I'm actually aware of it, and that's not what Post said. So this individual, he's talking about Sergeant Carteron, who was in the military, who had accusations brought against him. He was arrested, okay? Come to find out, everything was dropped and he had a diversion. So it never happened. So I called Post myself and spoke to them, and they said, because of the diversion, there's nothing they can do, and he is a certified officer.
But he also spent 90 days in Coffee County Jail where he had stomped and beat a guy in the head.
So
So how is he legal?
there again, he did go to court, a diversion happened, so those charges were dropped.
In all fairness, sir, I didn't see that the charges were dropped, so much so that the last thing I read from the Rutherford County document that released this gentleman from the duties that he served as a police officer in that county or city said that he was not fit to be an officer in the state of Tennessee. Why did they put that in that document?
And I understand that, and that was before the court case. Once the court case happened, he got a diversion, so it's not showing up.
I would have to see that document.
But you can see it, but you can also call Post. Post says because of the diversion, there's nothing they can do. So it didn't happen. So when he got hired, I was on the road. It was investigated. It was also investigated by Sheriff Shrum as well. Sheriff Shrum went to Post because he thought he was going to have to sign a waiver. And Post at the time said, no waiver is to be signed because this didn't happen because he had a diversion. So, I mean, I get it, I understand, but there was a diversion, so it didn't happen.
Well, it did actually happen.
Well, I'm aware.
Yeah, so if you want to deal with integrity, it did actually happen. And I'll give credence to anybody getting better, to get better, to be a better person.
Correct.
And maybe it doesn't occur again, or maybe it'll never occur again.
Correct.
But it just happens to be that it has had a few comments in the city of Monteagle that this individual is a little bit overzealous in his authority as a police officer. And so I'm concerned about it, okay? And I'm speaking to you, Chief, as man to man, and I'm happy to do that with anybody. But the fact of the matter is, I'm questioning the authority of this individual, and I have nothing against him personally, and that. But what I'm reading, I see as a red flag to me.
Okay, so this is the same individual as of yesterday that tried to save someone who shot themselves and cut his own hand up, busting the window out trying to get someone out of the vehicle. This is the same individual that you're portraying.
Yeah.
So, and I understand, I do. But since he's been in law enforcement with Grundy and Monteagle, he's not shown anything but. Now, is he everyone's cup of tea? No, I guarantee he's not. But does he put the safety of Monteagle citizens before his own? Absolutely.
I would like to say something. I've been involved with this individual on 3 or 4 different occasions. I spoke with you on 2 of those occasions. I spoke with the mayor on all of them. When I came in the door out here tonight, we had another little episode.
Okay.
It's like I told him, he's got a bad attitude, and you know, it's going to get adjusted.
Okay.
I don't know who's going to adjust it, but you can bet your bottom dollar somebody's going to adjust his attitude. You can shoot that old bull all you want to about how great he is, but they need to do an investigation on him when they have this workshop, just like on this other employee that has been fired for misrepresentation on his firing.
I understand.
So you're the only one that's representing him. When I asked the mayor, what did you give me? Well, I went to the chief with it.
That's right.
So why ain't the board aware of what's all going on with the chief, with this officer?
It concerned Post, it was a police matter, and I went to his supervisor,
It wasn't
who
no
happened to be
post
the
on
chief.
mine. You know, I
But
spoke
as
to the
opposed-
chief.
but
He
you
said,
are-
you said, if I see anything going on, come and let me know. I said, I'll do it. Better try to help you out all I can.
You
I
did.
came up on a Saturday, reported to the police department, to the chief, what was going on. The chief wasn't there. I spoke to this other guy. He said, well, man, you're a racist. I said, no, I'm not a racist. I'm just telling you what happened. And I was labeled as a racist, and he went around in town and told other people that I was a racist. And I know that for a fact.
Okay. But
So-
you are also the gentleman right up front, because you just brought it up. We did speak out front. You said that you single-handedly was involved in getting a chief and a fire chief fired, and you would make sure he got fired. You told me that.
I'm
right up
gonna
front.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'll tell you to your face, you're full of crap, old buddy.
No, I'm not, buddy.
And you said, I said that to you?
Right out here.
You're full of crap.
Right out here.
All right, there's no need to
Well, I'm just
continue
telling
that.
you, you
Thank
and
you.
him about the same boat.
Thank you, that's it. Let's not,
I think you need to do something.
well, we'll deal with that. Thank you. Anything else from the alderman? Okay, moving on, there's nothing under old business. New business, business permit? Anyone want a business permit? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Paco's Cantina and Sports Bar?
Yes, sir.
Business permit application for the town.
Yes, this
I
is
believe-
for Paco's Cantina and Sports Bar. And we had this going for a while, and I'm just here to get my certification and leave. If I can, if I may.
And you have all the other documents you need to open. Is there a motion to accept or approve the application?
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I thought we talked about this last time.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That was beer last month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember, I've been here so many
Do you
times.
have a certificate of occupancy?
Yes, I do. I'm only waiting.
Terrace, your little outside area, is that,
Yeah.
was that part of the certificate of occupancy?
Yes.
I saw gravel being spread around up there today.
Well, that's the back parking lot.
You got a permit for that?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I need the
we've got.
application back.
Oh. Yeah. Me too.
Okay. Is this a first reading of the ordinance?
All right, it's a little late, but it's up there. We're done, let's see it.
All right, I'll accept a motion to accept on first reading ordinance 12-25 to replace opacity to transparency. Is there a motion to correct that?
I make a motion to accept that change.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir.
What?
Does this have to go before the planning commission for their review before we can amend an ordinance?
It came to us from the planning commission.
Yeah.
It's already been done. Okay. That's all.
Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This is the second meeting on the computers, right? First? I'll accept the motion on,
This is the budget amendment.
this is the, I'll accept the motion to accept Budget Ordinance 13-25 for the new computers that we discussed last meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I'll accept a motion to adjourn the meeting. There being no further business.
Got
I have a question.
motion.
I have a question about the letter that I was sent. Are all the aldermen aware of the letter that I was sent, or was this just alone by the mayor, or was it just an act that was done alone by him?
I sent it enforcing the ordinances.
Correct.
All I wanted you to do was apply to, make an application to appear to BZA to straighten out your situation. That's all I did. So please apply to
Did you copy
BZA.
the council on that?
The what?
Did you send the council alderman a copy?
I don't believe I did, no.
I think that was the question.
Yep, that's correct, thank you.
So, no.
Okay.
But I would still suggest that you apply to BZA so we can resolve the issue.
I don't see that there's an issue, because this
Okay,
was
that
resolved at the...
that was my guidance. You have the letter, so
Yeah,
whatever you think
this
is
is a public meeting,
appropriate.
I don't understand why we can't talk about it.
There's nothing to talk about. You
There's
had
a lot to talk
citizens'
about.
comments before. We've discussed it in workshops before. I think you know the situation.
But the
We just have to get it
situation
resolved.
was very different from what was discussed in the letter.
Okay.
And the fact that the aldermen aren't aware of it, I'm wondering what's going on.
There's nothing going on.
There is something going on, because you sent it alone, it was
Sir,
without
all
anyone
it
else.
did was quote ordinances that I'm sure you're aware of.
Okay, well,
So
the next step sounds like I gotta get myself a lawyer, so.
Fine, whatever works for you.
You all right?
I'll accept the motion to adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Is that a second?
I'll second.
Oh, much obliged. All those in favor say aye. Meeting adjourned.